Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live show for Towers of Midnight by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. We are gathered here today to complain about this book, as far as I can tell.
Poor Sandra.
Do you have any words to say, Sandra, or is this your read along? And I know Stanon's here, and Stanon loves Wheel of Time, so I'm sorry, Stanon, but... And it was fine. It was fine for me. And Sandra, introduce the live show, and then we'll talk about how fine or not fine it was.
I don't even know. You already introduced it.
I just didn't know if you had anything extra to add.
No, not really. I mean, it's the second to last book. 2.5 years is soon done. Becca's very happy about this.
I'm so happy. I have no stamina, though, when it gets to the end of a project. So, like, we don't have much left. But that makes me not even want to bother finishing it. I'm like, it's so close to being done. Why can't it just already be done?
But I feel like we also have a lot like that kind of needs to be wrapped up, and there's only one book left. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I feel like so many fun things happen in this one, and like, yes, the writing is a lot, so it takes a lot of time for us to get there. But it was just, I really enjoyed it. Okay.
It was up and down for me, honestly. Like,
it was too much Perrin, but other than that, less Perrin would have been better.
They were trying to get back to early books Perrin, and I appreciated that because I liked early books Perrin better. But I feel like it's just been too long of him just doing nothing but caring about his wife.
I already fully hate him too much to go back to liking him.
I am. You know how Brandon Sanderson wasn't supposed to write this many books, and then he said there was too much material, so he had to write more books than he was supposed to. This book felt like he was wrapping up all of the things that needed to be wrapped up that had taken forever to get to where they were. And he was like, we need to be done with all of these things so we can actually finish the series. And that's why I didn't like this book, because I kept like, I was alternating between the physical copy and the audiobook, and I felt like I enjoyed it more that way because I felt like the reading it physically was grounding me a little bit, and then I could carry on in audio. But like, there were bits that were interesting, and then everything else was just too long-winded in between the things. But like, obviously Robert Jordan set this kind of precedent. And like Perrin's story arc, like this part of Perrin's story arc has not been touched upon since book 3. And it's like 9 books later, we're actually resolving that. And I'm like, and it resolves quickly in that, like, it resolves in this book. So then it's kind of ridiculous that it's took 9 books to get to this point.
Because Sanderson even says that. I'm assuming it's Sanderson, because it's like, sure, this could have come up when I was looking for my wife, but I didn't even think about it then. So now we're going to go into this wolf stuff. Like, Sanderson, like, blatantly says it, like, this has been a plot hole.
What did you guys rate it?
I haven't put it through my spreadsheet yet because I only finished it, like, about 6:30, and then I had dinner. So I haven't, like, but I think it's like a 3. I enjoyed it more because of the way that I read it, but I didn't like it. So
I think I settled on 3.5 just because there were moments I liked, but there were a lot of moments I didn't. And if it wasn't for this being my commute book and I was getting through a chunk every day, I think I would have struggled.
It would have been perfectly fine if this book was the prologue and the epilogue and we didn't have to go through anything in between. I ended at what I felt like was a harsh rating of 3.5, but honestly, I've been debating lowering it even more.
This is crazy.
This book.
Someone kick Amberly out of the live show. Like this is not Amber. This is an alien. An alien has taken over Amberly's body. Like,
I have feelings though. Like, I think my main issue with this book is so much happened, which felt jarring because for Wheel of Time, we're used to so much not happening. So when you shove so much into a book, I ended up not liking it as much. It was too much and boring, even though so much was happening. I have hope for the final book. Don't get me wrong, I'm still on my Wheel of Time shit, but this
I'm
book was
hoping.
not it for me.
This book made me immediately want to reread all the books.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I was just like, I was listening to it. I was just like, I missed them already. I want to start all over again.
You can tell in this book that it's gearing up for the shit to hit the fan everywhere, because
Yes.
especially, like, I actually enjoyed the first half of this book. The pacing was slow, but it was the first half of the book. And I know that it always comes up to like something really big at the end. The last 50 pages of this book were good. But then that in between, like the 400 pages in between, that was literally everyone going, let's get married. Let's get married. Oh my God, should we get married? Like, tell me that everyone's going to die in the next book without telling me that everyone's going to die, because everyone's wrapping up all the personal threads and having their little moments of happiness before everyone dies. Stressing me out, man.
And I feel like some of these let's get married came out of left field. Like there was no relationship build up. It was just like, this person needs a partner, so here you go.
I mean, Morghese and the Soldier Druid, I feel like I've been building up for quite a long time. They have been talking about that a lot. But the other one, that was why.
There's also Egwene and Gawain. It is Gawain.
Oh yeah, I forgot they existed as well.
Yeah,
they have been building up since for a long time.
Yeah, although I was hoping that we were going to have a little bit of a breakup when he left. I was like, good on you, because he just left it strop, and I was like, I love that for you.
Yeah, but he's become the next infuriating lovesick puppy. Let's be real. He's like, you fall in love and you don't get to be the same person anymore in this series. Like, it's not allowed.
Yeah.
But I had the most jarring moment that I really need to consult if this was me or if it was really the books. That. Did Moraine and Tom have a thing in the background and I didn't know it? So. Because when Tom told Matt he wasn't paying attention, I was like, was I not paying attention?
It's been like 7 or 8 books, so I can't be sure, but I was listening to the audiobook in the kitchen and I literally said, what the fuck? And Curtis was like, what? And I was like, no, it's nothing, it's fine. But then Matt also kind of echoed my thoughts and I was like, yeah, I'm glad it's not just me. But then information passes so slowly around here, I didn't know whether it was just Matt that didn't know. But
I did internet. After I was done with the book, I did some Googling and it seems like the consensus is no, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the first time
that had happened.
The first time I read them, I was like, what the heck? Now I knew it was going to happen, so it didn't feel as jarring, but it is jarring because it is like out of nowhere. Did Tom and Moraine ever have a conversation? I feel like Moraine was more of a lover to Lan than Tom at the time. Not that.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, part of it is that like it was never a thing with Tom because you always had to be unsure if there was a thing with Lan.
Yeah.
And now that you know there's not a thing with Lan, there can be a thing with Tom. But I'm guessing that Robert Jordan always intended there to be a thing with Tom, because I don't understand why Brandon Sanderson would just randomly like pull it out of the last minute for no reason.
I feel like that was a bullet note on the points that he got, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess I shut it here."
Yeah.
I really wish that was a bullet point he could have just skipped. I mean, I don't think Robert Jordan would have noticed.
True.
So I don't know, we could talk through the different characters. I feel like some it didn't happen a lot with. Like Rand, the only thing I feel like he did in this was that he is not like ice cold anymore. He's like allowing himself to feel again.
Was it this book where he cried? He saw Tam and he cried. Did that happen at the beginning?
Yes, he met his father in this one and said sorry and all that.
Yeah, and he cried.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was
and
good.
Then the other thing he did was that he decided to ruin all the seals in the Darkmoor's prison, and that is what everyone is talking about. That is like the only thing I feel like he did in this book.
He's happy-go-lucky Rand, and let's release.
That was actually funny.
Oh yeah, the way she was like so determined was good. I liked Lynn in this book for the most part.
Except for when she was being like just completely out of her mind, stupid, and trying to get herself killed at the beginning. But yeah.
I vaguely said it in Becca's sprints the other day. So I'm like, I was rooting for a pregnant lady to get hurt because I was so annoyed. She kept saying, I can't get hurt because I'm pregnant. I can't get hurt because I'm pregnant. I'm like, something needs to happen to you because you're annoying. I felt a little weird about that, but it worked.
He was a little better in this. I just feel like all of the progression happened in this book for all of the characters that should have gradually been happening. And I was seeing in sprints, actually, the same sprints that Deb is talking about. I was like, Elaine has been pregnant forever. I thought she was about to pop, but we find out in this book she's only just started to show. And I'm like, she's been pregnant for my entire life. Like, what is this? Like, what is this pacing? In this book, some people only just found out about is it Sidon being cleansed?
Yeah.
In this book. And there's something else that they only just found about in this book that happened ages ago. And I'm like, oh my God. So, like,
they were referring...
Go on.
They were referring to it as a baby. She's pregnant with a baby. I'm like, haven't we known for a while this is more than one baby? Like all this, and suddenly they've discovered in this book, oh, there's more than one heartbeat in there. I'm like, again, we've known this for a while.
Yeah. But then I also feel like it kept flipping to being like, oh, baby, and like babies. And I'm like, I understand that the transference of information is slow and not everyone is in the same place and not everyone knows. But do I need every single person's reaction to every single plot point? Like, yes. No. Like, there's some people who find out in like the final chapter of this book that Elaine is pregnant. And I'm like, she's been pregnant for 5 years. Like, right. she's been pregnant her entire life at this point.
But
and
also,
as well, is
don't
that
you think like your medical professional? No.
For things to be able to move quicker. Like, we got to a point where Rand was just zipping all over the map because they learned how to travel, but nobody's traveling anywhere and telling anyone anything.
No.
But the entirety takes place in 2 years. Two.
Yeah, I that was my thought, that I was thinking that I'm pretty sure from the beginning until now it's only been about 2 years, but it feels like an eternity. I had one thought about Rand in this book and his relationship with his quote-unquote wives, and then I couldn't unthink it. I mean, Min is obviously the favorite wife, right? Like, she's the one who gets to stay with him all the time.
Elaine isn't even married.
Well, quote-unquote, but... Elaine gets the kids, and then I feel bad for Avienda. She's just been like going through all of these books, and like she doesn't even like hardly ever get to talk to him.
She's just walking around by herself, pondering the future of the Aiel. And like,
she had those visions, though. That was fun.
She did it. She did. That is true. At the end of the book. But I haven't seen her. I don't remember the last time I saw her. And now we've seen her. She's just wandering about by herself. I'm like, where have you been? What are you doing?
The last time we saw her was when she was stubborn with the wise ones, where like she had to like tell them like, I'm not gonna actually do this anymore. And they were like, oh, you're so stubborn. You use such a long time. Oh, you much older than you. Blah. That was what last time I saw
feel
her.
like she's on her own personal journey that has nothing to do with anyone else right now.
I agree.
I agree with what Colin said, but I think it's because Min is literally so boring. Aside from her ability to see visions, she is no other use to this series. So she gets stuck by his side while the other two get to go off on their own adventures.
But Elaine is a queen. She doesn't have time for a man. Min is nothing. So, and Avienda is going to be like a wise one, so she's much cooler.
Was it Berlin who said in this one, she was like, oh, like I wanted Rand, but he needs to marry a woman of higher nobility. He'll probably marry Elaine. And I'm like, girl, you're behind. He's taking everyone. He just didn't want you. Min's a seer, like, apart from that, she's just a regular person.
He gave her Perrin, and that was like the ickiest thing that I've heard in this entire book.
But then she did say, she was like, oh, I suppose he didn't really, but I know that's what he intended. And I'm like, okay. But it looks like she's going to be with Galad, because he was like, they had that meeting and he was like, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
They actually foreshadowed that like at least 3 or 4 books ago. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for them to finally meet.
It's been 2 weeks.
She had that thing where she was like walking, like everyone just had symbols over their heads in one scene, and that's all I remember her really doing in this one, in terms of visions.
It did feel like there was slightly less fangirling over Rand too, maybe because they are so split up, but it was less constantly. And maybe that's why we don't see these women quite as much, is because Sanderson doesn't want to write the fangirling. If we spend too much time with them, they're going to gush about their boyfriend. But
if Elaine had a soundtrack in this book, it would be Daddy I Love Him by Taylor Swift, because all she's doing is defending the fact that Rand impregnated to everyone she meets.
That is true.
But Morghese is alive. Perrin had his trial with the White Cloaks.
That's the other thing. That's the thing where I was like, they revealed that she was alive, and I was like, how have we got this? How is this happening now? It's been so she's been here for so long. I was like, I thought that I just wasn't paying attention and that everyone already knew that she was alive because it's been so long, but no, that happened here.
Yeah, no, we
I
knew.
thought it was
No one
great.
else knew.
And then after the trial, we had Matt and Perrin meet again, right? And I almost started to cry because I was just like, the boys are meeting again.
That was
adorable.
It was just like, I'm catching raccoons. Or whatever.
It was a throwback to the first book as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was so good.
That was cool.
Okay. That was fun. I wish the book was just moments like that and not all the folding of breasts. I mean, folding of arms beneath the breasts.
Oh, but then there was also, oh my god, Matt in this book, man, he was driving me crazy. All his perspective was just like, oh, she's got cracking tits, but I've got a wife, so I haven't noticed. Like, oh, I'd love to like sling her over my knee, but I've got a wife, so like nothing to do with me. It's like, oh, that barmaid, lovely ass, but I've got a wife, so like, not even looking.
I really liked it.
Wow.
So, and then he lost his eye.
He did well, good.
Yeah,
Now he cannot see the women on one side of him, and he only has to worry about the other half of the room.
That was brutal. I was internally crying for him, but also like, yay, he's having his hero moment, and I loved it. But my favorite running Matt joke is how he doesn't understand who's teaching Oliver to treat women that way.
Oh yeah, actually. Yeah, no, that was the point. Like, yeah, no. Wonder who that is.
Yeah. And then we saved Moraine.
She isn't in this book, right? Is she called Tuon? Tuon's his wife, right?
No, she wasn't there.
Oh yeah. We didn't really see her much, no. I think we like heard about her in little snippets or whatever, but we didn't actually see her, I don't think.
It was just everyone's reaction to Matt being married to her.
So was it Amberly who said that Moraine was dead?
You know what? I was standing my ground. There had to be one of us. I fully admit, I read it and I'm like, okay, Becca wins. But I still am disappointed that she was brought back to life. Like, can we not just actually kill anyone? Because, I mean, all these Forsaken just keep being, like, put in new bodies and coming back to life. I'm like, can people just not die?
Apparently not. That's why I'm like, I feel like the way everything was wrapped up, where everyone's getting married and they've all had their nice moments, I feel like people are going to die, but also if people didn't die, I wouldn't be surprised. In 14 books, people should die along the way. They shouldn't all die in the last book.
Well, you know, we had the death of a hand, we had the death of an eye. We're just losing
What
little
is
pieces
Perrin
of
gonna
characters.
lose? Half of his nose, since he uses it all the time. Maybe that's what Perrin will lose.
Maybe.
You know,
That
who
would
I
be
miss-
bad for a wolf. Wolves live by their noses.
I just realized how little loyal we had in this book.
Oh my god, he's not even in it.
You're right.
Where is he again? Is he in the steading having sex with his wife?
Yeah,
Oh shit,
he went back to the steading he did get married, and then he went back to the steading to be like a speaker at the tree or whatever to try to convince them of something I can't even remember, and then we just never heard about him again. I'm assuming I'm assuming he comes back in the last book, but I literally just now realized that he had disappeared. I obviously didn't miss him that much.
I want to know, the last book is 1010 pages, so 1010. So sit down for the ride. There's a
I'm
chapter here that
excited
is
for the last
200
one.
pages long.
That's a big battle, isn't it? I bet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to actually buy this one again so that I can read it with this last one. I want to read it with my eyes, but even though we only have a month, way shorter.
Yeah, we are a bit late for this live show. I blame Becca.
No, actually, it was my fault. If anyone knows me, they know how much I love Cody Rigsby, and I met him last weekend. And Sandra could have done the live show without me, but she wanted to make me be here, so
Well, you were the one hosting, so
I didn't have to be.
well, here you are.
My edition's only 912 pages. I'll get through it faster than the 1,000-page people.
Oh, yeah,
Because
no,
it's not the same amount of text, Deb.
Totally different.
our US editions are always shorter than their UK editions for some reason.
Yeah.
Because even
Well,
when Becca said 930 pages,
Taller.
I'm like,
And just
mine was only this book was only 880 pages for me, and I think Becca said like 930, so that was like a big 50-page difference.
What? I didn't put it in my calendar, but I do think we decided on the 8th of June, was it?
I don't know. I didn't put it in mine either. I just sort of agreed to it foolishly.
Oh, yeah, we did decide, didn't we? I put it on mine.
Amazon said what says 1,025 for the edition that I get, but that doesn't include, that includes the glossary, so I think it'll come in just under 1,000.
I legitimately got sprayed my wrist holding this book. I'm so sorry.
Barely survived.
Yeah, so it is the 8th of June. So it is like a month. It is less. But I was just like, we can do it in July, but
it's okay, guys, because that means it'll be over. So like we gotta read it quick, but then it'll be done.
I have one question for everyone. Out of all of the many things that happened in this book, what was, aside from Sandra, who enjoyed a lot, what was the one that you really enjoyed? For me, it was Slayer coming back and Perrin's like confrontations with him. I actually thought that was pretty cool.
Didn't I say that it was Lord Luke like 12 books ago?
You did, and we found that out already, even though he didn't know, we knew, but you guessed it before we knew. Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm sure he's like, I think it's Lord Luke, and I'm like, why does this feel really familiar to me? But it's because it took like 12 books to raise the story arc to circle back around.
Mm-hmm.
I should have I was on camera today, which is what got me through the end of this audiobook, but actually I should have waited till the end of the series because I've earned it.
You have. I actually like the political maneuvering where they're talking about Perrin kind of having his own kingdom within what's her name's kingdom, and
Andor?
like the maneuvering of how he could kind of keep staying in charge because his people want him to be in charge, and they're doing these different maneuverings. I don't know. I think I was in the mood for a political storyline when we hit that, maybe, but I thought it was interesting.
Elaine was a brat.
So I know what my favorite moment was. So I really liked Random Tam meeting again, but it was Egwene putting Nynaeve in her place and like overlodging. Like when she made her go back to the tower to do her Aes Sedai trials, and she was like, well, didn't people treat you like a child when you were a wise one? And she had to like see the error of her ways and be like, actually, no, you're right. Even though I don't like the condescending attitude that Egwene kind of has now that she's an Amelin, I liked that she like knocked Nynaeve down.
Nynaeve needed to be knocked down a bit, honestly.
It did. That was good. It was.
That was really good. But I think she did it still in a mature way. That is a way she had to do it for Nynaeve to listen. Nynaeve got Lance's bond. She went through the trial and got her bond.
Which
I really liked that.
I thought we got a little bit too much of that trial, even when we had to go through like the entire thing with Moraine just a few books ago, but it was fine. It was just very repetitive. But what was your favorite of all your favorites, Sandra?
You can only have
obviously Lan, when he goes around with his army and saying that they can't tell anyone that he's coming with his army, and then in the end he's just like, well, fuck it, I'm here with my army. Let's take off the golden crane. I almost cried. He was just like, I guess I'm home now, my man. And that is it. And they recognized him by his horse, because Nynaeve had told him, everyone, how his horse looked like. I thought that was great.
Oh yeah, yeah, she did.
But yeah, Egwene was fun. She trapped one of the Forsaken, or like killed her or whatever, and then she did cool maneuvering in the White Tower with like open meetings, and then like the whole that she gets control over Rand, but they get control of the military.
Mm. I think part of my problem with this series and why I don't love it is because I don't like dreams. I don't like dream magic.
I don't either, actually.
If you think about everything interesting that happened in this book, it was all dreams and visions. So like Nynaeve's Aes Sedai test, visions. Avienda looking into the future and what the world's going to be like after the battle's over, visions. Perrin's wolf stuff, dreams. Doesn't Egwene kill one of the Black Aja because they're meeting in Telamriod? So like all
No,
of that.
she's one of the Forsaken.
Was she a Forsaken? I thought she was one of the Black Aja. Well, all of that stuff, dreams.
A Forsaken pretending to be, like heading up the Black Aja.
Mm.
She was both.
See, this is what I don't like, because I'm very, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm a very literal person, and I don't want to wonder what is real and what's not. I want to know what's real and what's not. And I think it's also especially jarring because I've been listening to the audiobooks and like I won't realize we're in a dream and I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, oh, okay, like it's Telamriod, like we're dreaming, it's fine. Masana, that's the one.
I did love the confirmation we got that the wolf dream really was just Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah,
the same
it's
place.
literally the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm tired. I mean, it makes sense in terms of like world building and stuff, but I'm tired of it all just being the same thing. And I think it's because it's dream magic that I especially don't like it.
I hate dream sequences in series and books in general. Like, I literally hate it. There was that one in Shadow and Bone season 2. We had a whole episode where everyone was just having visions and dreams, and I detested the whole season for that reason. But either way, like stuff like that, I really don't like it. Like when you can't tell if it's real or not. But I think like the way Tel'aran'rhiod is made, I think it's like one of the like cooler ones at least. Like at least the things there actually affect the real world.
There was something really cool. I think it was when Nynaeve was doing her Aes Sedai trials. There was a bit where she have to think like an ice. Oh no, it wasn't. Wasn't it Egwene in Tel'aran'rhiod where she was like, I'm thinking like an Aes Sedai, not like a dreamer. So she was reacting with her magic instead of like manipulating the dream world, and I thought that was really interesting.
So I think parts of it is done interesting, but I agree it is a lot of it in this one. It is a lot. And there's
a different version of vision, or because I like the visions, especially because that's where the series becomes a little bit more sci-fi. You see, like, was it Rand or Matt when they did it? They saw like all of the machinery and stuff. And like the different futures and pasts, but because it's like a dream style, I don't like it. Because the way
then there's drama happening in the Black Tower.
I mean, I feel like, did anyone not see that Mazrim Taim was gonna be like some huge butt and go against Rand and like try to take power? I saw that coming from day one.
But I feel like Rand did a really bad job there. It was just like, I'm making this tower, do this thing, bye. And then he like never checks in, ever. Like, obviously they're gonna do their own thing.
Talk about somebody who qualified for a job.
Yeah.
It's like when we're in book 4 and there's all of this stuff going on and they're supposed to be preparing to like take down this big evil dark guy, and Rand's like, how about we build some schools? It's like, okay. All right then.
I wish he doesn't really check in with people in general. Like, he's like, I'm gonna unseal all these seals. Everyone says no, but this is what we're doing. He just does his own thing.
Like, he hasn't even seen Elaine since he got her pregnant, has he? Like, not once.
Does he even know that she's pregnant?
Thanks. I mean, Min knows, so I would assume that he knows, but I don't know if we ever actually saw him know.
I would like to think that if he knew, he'd check in. But who
That
knows?
might be
But I feel like he
overestimating him a
knew.
little bit.
Did he not have like a thought where he was like,
A singular
"Oh,
thought.
it's a better thing that I stay away. That's safer for her and the babes." Did he think
Oh,
that?
maybe.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Min just
Okay, well,
sitting
they're in
there.
the same
That's
spot
not my
now.
news to share.
But they're apparently all going to get babies according to the visions, because like in the vision of Avienda, there was like 3 different lines from the dragon with 3 different women. So
Oh, is that
I
what that was?
did
Yeah,
not
because-
enjoy her vision quest, whatever, in
it was
Roydion.
so fun.
I shut
I
off
got
the
bored with it.
audiobook halfway through and didn't touch it for 5 days.
Wow.
It went on for a while.
Yeah.
It
That's
also, like,
everything.
yeah, and it's because of the style of it that I didn't like it, and it's sad because I would be interested in it if it wasn't written in like a vision style.
What do you guys think of Perrin turning back to help with the troll orcs, and then Galad was like, was it Galad or was it Gawain? I don't even know.
Galad.
One of them was
Galad.
like, "Oh my god, we can be friends now."
Thankfully, because I was sick of Galad being a little bitch about everything, he seems to
Yeah.
have been quite reasonable. But that's the thing, it's like Galad has been gooding for Perrin for such a long time, and it all came to a head in this book when it could have come to a head a long time ago. Or like we could have gradual progression. Like not everything had to happen in this book. It could have been happening over the last 5 books, and then it would have felt like a gradual progression. Not like, oh yeah, we left all of these plots like 7 books ago, so we have to like wrap it all up at once.
But that is Jordan's fault, and Sanderson is doing his best to be like, we actually need to finish this series, because he was just, I need to write down this last book here so that I can go back to the Cosmere. I cannot spend the next 10 years writing 5 Wheel of Time books.
It's not Sanderson's fault, but the book that he wrote suffered because of it.
Yeah.
I just feel like this book is a necessary evil, because especially those 400 pages towards the end that was just everyone getting married, I was like, he's just putting everyone where they need to be so that he can get this series over with. Because like Jordan has not done it. He's not done it. Like the 4 books that we spent, the slog books, were like it's like a week. And it's like 4,000 pages. It's like, why the
Yeah, I think if we spent all that slog having all this character development we are having now, the slog would have been not the slog.
To be fair, Colin, in this book, Galad got better and Gawain got worse, so it makes sense. But it was a very like it should have been a gradual progression of like Galad coming around. That all shouldn't have happened in this book. Like the amount of time that he hated him versus the amount of time that he spent with him and then came around to liking him, which just doesn't add up. It's not. And then we had that character. It wasn't the one. I don't think it was Bornhold. I think it was the other one, the one that didn't die. And Perrin was like, "Oh, I don't think I've won him over." And Galad says, like, he's hated you for a long time, so like it's going to take time. Like that should have also been Galad and everyone else.
But I don't think Galad knew Perrin existed before this book, did he? Didn't we have Bornhold and Bayer explaining to him who Perrin was and why they wanted to kill him because he had done this stuff in the past and like supposedly killed Bornhold's father? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just this book. I don't think Galad knew about him before this book.
Oh, so it was just Bornhold and Bayer then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say what I think was really big turning point for Galad very fast was that he was just like, "Oh, channeling is fine now."
Mm.
And I was just like, "Oh." But predictions now. If someone is going to die in the last book, who do you guys think is going to die?
Moraine, I want vindication.
She wasn't dead, but she's going to be.
Okay, but like for real, you think Moraine is actually going to die after you use all this time resurrecting her?
Honestly, I think that would be a baller move. So no, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Matt, please! Oh my god!
Bye-bye.
I don't even know. I don't know who's gonna like. I felt like it was a cop out. So you know, like this whole quest with Matt and Moraine, and how he got this letter that's like, you need to go save Moraine. You can take 2 people with you. And it's like, oh, conveniently, one of these people is not a main character, and oh no, he dies. Like, that's so fucking like, we brought this random guy along just to die, so I'm like, I don't know which of the main characters are going to die, because I don't think it's going to be like a lot of them. I feel like the women are safe. Maybe some of the ones that have got married recently. Because why
So
they all leave that
Gaze, the soldier dude, maybe Egwene and Gawain, and I don't even know who else got married.
Can we nominate Rand?
We can nominate Ran, but do you actually think Ran is gonna die?
No,
I mean,
because he
I
hasn't
could see
knocked
this
out
epic
Nanavi
thing
Ender
where
yet.
yeah. Because I could see an epic ending where he's sacrificing himself because Jordan loved him so much, and then after the fact we find out all 3 women are pregnant and his line will live on, and it's a big whole thing. But
I don't want like Marguerite or the guy that she's with to die, because I feel like they've had to wait a long time for this. Like, I'd rather like Aiel died or Perrin.
I was just gonna say that I wish they would die.
Although they're fine now that Perrin's like on his like doing his own thing.
He's
That's
fine.
fine.
She's still really, really annoying. Which I think Sanderson gave us a lot less of her this book, and it was really appreciated. But
yeah.
when she did pop up, she was still being annoying and controlling.
I feel like she's a woman in the stereotypical like old-timey woman, like she's managing woman things and thinking woman things, like how she can manipulate everyone and what everyone's gossiping about and how she can make her husband do what she wants. And I'm like, I don't care. But then the series is just still full of that. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Like the way that I think it's because everyone's like tics and personality quirks are so present, and it's like they just really don't need to be. Like, I don't need Matt talking about women every 10 lines in every perspective that he has. Like, I just don't. I know he's a perv. We can just leave it at that.
Yeah, that really annoyed me the first time I read them more. I think like the way women rants about men and men rants about women all the time.
And oh my
I
god, it
feel
was the last book where Matt was annoying me, where he had a go at that woman for hitting him, and then he spanked her like 75 times, and I was like, what is this? What am I reading?
I
The
feel like
biggest
the
twist of
main
season
wives are
3.
safe.
That's like the biggest twist of season 3 is that I kind of like Fail. I need to watch the show now.
No, I watched season 1 before I read the books, and I didn't love it, and I've heard it gets better, but I haven't caught up yet.
I want to watch.
I feel like we've been like very obviously sending Lan to his death for like 2 or 3 books now. So now I don't know whether to expect Jordan to have actually killed him, or since we've been sending him to his death for so long, he's obviously not going to die. It could go either way.
I feel like the main women are safe just from the standpoint that I feel like Jordan's vision would be them having babies and the children all frolicking together and
The children making children with each other. No.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
feel
No,
like that would be something like that.
so you think Ran is fine? I can't believe none of you think no one is going to die.
It's hard to have faith in Jordan, honestly, because people should die, but they haven't up until this point. So
I do
And I
actually
don't feel like Sanderson would kill someone who Jordan wasn't planning to kill.
yeah.
This is what I've been saying literally since like book 2 or 3. Like, Robert Jordan had great ideas, but he's not a good writer. Like, he's just not. And people think that that's blasphemy, but honestly, like, a lot of people say this series is worth it by the time you get to the end, and I just don't think it is. I'm like, it definitely has parts that are good, but I do not think it's worth everything else. Like, I just don't. I would much rather have never read it.
If I
But now
reread
you
it,
have.
No,
I would just do the Matt reread.
Oh wow.
I want to reread it, but I wish that like I could read like a condensed version where they removed all like the shit in between and only read the actual like the good parts. Because like I honestly like the good parts makes me feel so good, but then like a lot of the parts are so boring. Like, I don't need to read about Perrin going into the Wolf Dream 10 times in a book that he's fighting Slayer. Like, I don't care. Oh,
And it's
Harper
so
died
frustrating.
again.
It's so frustrating, like 5 books after the source has been cleansed, to still hear people talking about how the source makes you mad, and it's like, it doesn't make you mad anymore. We fixed that 5 books ago. And I know it's like realistic, but I'm like, it doesn't have to be this realistic. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
Like, because I'm all for like unabridged versions of original works, obviously, but like this is a series that needed an abridged version, honestly.
Mm.
And I feel like I would enjoy that more. But like, as I read original ones, I would try out an abridged version and be like, okay, now we get into the good stuff, you know?
I feel like, in terms of, because Curtis was talking to me when we were talking about people dying, I couldn't predict who would die at this point, because I feel like Sanderson's put them all in a place where I don't think anyone's super likely to die. I imagine that people are going to, but there's no one. I feel like everyone, aside from participating in the last battle, everyone has already served their purpose now. So
But
like,
now the point is to live after the last battle.
Perrin has reached the end of his arc, so theoretically he could die. But then Rand, the end of his arc is the last battle, just like Perrin. So like, he could die. Like, the end of everyone's arc is the last battle, which means they're all equal chance that they're going to die. The only people that I would say probably aren't going to die is like Avienda, because she's off somewhere else, so she hasn't yet fulfilled her purpose, whatever that might be.
I
But
just
like,
got a
for most of
prediction.
them, it's just like, it could be anyone.
I think Tuon dies now. Because I remembered part of Avienda's vision thing where they made a pointed comment about how things fell apart with the Shan-Chan after Rand almost reached a deal with the previous, whatever her title is. So something obviously happened to make that deal fall apart. So maybe she dies. That'll be my guess. Matt will no longer have a wife to stop him from lusting after women.
Lusting after you.
He needs to not be married, because he doesn't have the attitude of a married man. Or maybe he has the attitude of too many married men out there. What do I know? I don't know of many married men, actually. But
So you have one of your own.
Hmm?
So you have one of your own.
Oh, maybe, if we ever get married.
Maybe.
But yeah, like, I think Tuon, she still serves a purpose, because I feel like her role in this specifically is that she's the one that brings the Shan-Chan into the fold for like a united world afterwards. Because what happens if she dies? What's their succession? Does Matt take over the Shan-Chan?
No, I'm pretty sure it goes to the next person of the blood in the royal family, which I think is supposed to be her sister.
So I don't think that her death would serve any purpose. It would just make everything worse. And like, that would also kind of make hers and Matt's marriage pointless. Like, what was the point in it?
I just think that Amber Lee wants Matt single, that's all.
I actually like them together. No, it was just because of all the things that Avienda was seeing in her vision. Like, the future was obviously like a very not okay place every single time. Like, the further out you got, the worse it got. So it really seemed like something went wrong and fell apart.
I did actually want to talk about this, because obviously the world is also now going to shit, and we're going backwards, and we're heading towards 1950 instead of like 2030. But I was thinking that maybe that was the point, that like, this isn't the end of everything. Like, this doesn't fix everything, because the wheel keeps turning, and as it keeps turning, we're just going to keep having war, and everything's going to be shit, and it's just going to keep going round and round and round, which is a pretty like shitty, because like, the point of epic fantasy is at the end of the day the heroes win and everything's okay. And I feel like obviously you know that it keeps turning and that things go shit, but like, you normally just don't mention that part. You just let everyone believe that we live happily ever after forever.
Look, if you enjoyed Joe Abercrombie, then I don't want to hear that particular criticism about Wheel of Time.
I mean,
at the end, we're back where we started. Sorry you read 14 books. There was no point.
True. That is very true. But like with this, I like elements of Joe Abercrombie.
Yeah.
the fact that nothing gets better and everything's the same as when it started is one of the things I don't like about Joe Abercrombie, just to defend myself.
Well,
so terrible that I stopped reading them.
Avienda's seen this vision now. If she can get back and kind of translate some of it as it's not going to work unless something changes, like the current trajectory isn't going to work, and then somehow they have to implement a change.
But then if they change, they have like no assurance that that's going to work because she can't go back and get 3 more visions.
Right.
And we also have no idea what needs changed. Like, I don't think anything actually told her why the future was as bad as it is.
Wasn't the whole point of her vision, wasn't it just the Aiel that she was looking at?
She was seeing her children and then her child and her child's child and her child's child. She was seeing visions of her own bloodline, like in each generation.
Maybe it's that her bloodline shouldn't mix with the dragon. And that she shouldn't be one of his wives. But something that I kind of enjoyed it, but I feel like it went on too long in this book, was the discussion of what the Aiel do now. Because they were the same as the Travelers, weren't they? The traveling people, where they were peaceful, they were following the way of the leaf. And then they went in this complete opposite direction when they moved to the Wastes, and then they all became like warriors. And now, because I feel like this is something that we don't often address, I feel like it was touched upon briefly in like the end of Game of Thrones, like the TV show, because fuck if George R.R. Martin's ever going to finish that series. But how, like, what do you do when you have no purpose? Like the Aiel have no purpose now that they've found the dragon and they've fixed all of that. So like, do they go back to the Wastes? Like for what? But they don't belong in the rest of the world with the rest of the people because that's not their people. And I think that the whole thing about Avienda's visions very much focused on the Aiel and like what they do and like how it comes to war or like whether they just disappear. But like genuinely, like what do they do? Like I feel like the only thing that there's no need for them to exist. So they might as well just kind of blend into the population, but then they lose like cultural identity. So like I don't know how you fix the problem of their Aiel, but like they are essentially pointless now. There's no need for them.
Maybe they can just live in the Wastes and have a chill life.
But then they said in the visions that if they did that, then they'd do just because I think one of the kids says like, oh, well, why didn't we go back to the Wastes? And whoever they're talking to says, well, we would have just disappeared and nothing would have become of us.
We will see, maybe.
I already have the audiobook for the next one because apparently all the people who already had holds on it just didn't want to be bothered. So I'm actually excited to start it, but I am going to pick up the physical copy. I might order that today because I have a feeling that I'm going to want to actually be able to follow along what's happening with my eyes in this one.
It's annoying because I really don't want to start this right now. I think I'm just going to put it in as like my dog walk books, and then if I wanted to start Dungeon Crawler Call.
What?
No, I'm not going to start until after I finish Ruin. I'm like, I need one big chunky book at a time.
Well, I was thinking because I don't want to get to the point where I was today, where I had like 4 hours to listen to.
Yeah.
But I did well because at the beginning of the week I had 31 hours.
I did
That is insane.
That was like full speed though, so I only had like 15 and a half.
Oh,
But, like,
okay.
we got to the last day and I literally listened to 4 hours today. So I think I'm going to put it in as just like my dog walking book, and then as we get close to the live show, actually like dedicate more time to it. And hopefully by that point, I'll have like 500 pages left. Because if I out for the live show with 1,000 pages, I'm sorry guys, I'm not coming.
You better be there for long. I'm gonna just like push the live until you're there.
It's just so hard.
That's really hard.
Well, I was doing about 3 hours of audio a day, and I did it over 2 weeks. I don't do my weekends.
I did say that we could do it in July, but then you guys are going to Zanzibar, so
yeah.
If we do it in July, it has to be after the 19th, like the 20th. But like
then people would have more time.
They would, but that's the end of July, so it's like a long time.
But then we'd have to be waiting it around traveling to Zanzibar.
I just agreed. Oh yeah, that would be the issue. Like if we did it then there's a chance that me and Deb aren't going to read it because for like a week, and I might be going to Kenya, so like 2 weeks before the live show, I'm not going to be reading it.
Not taking
Well-
a big chunky thing to that far.
I saw people finishing Ruin in the Discord notifications, and I was just like over here laughing, just literally rolling around laughing.
Um,
No,
I mean,
I
we
think
could
we are
do-
fine.
we could do
After
like
Ruin, we'll have 3
What?
weeks. 2 weeks, 3
we could
weeks.
do the 29th
fine.
of June. That's like the last day that we could do before, because I don't. If I'm going to Kenya, I'm going on the 3rd of July.
The only problem is that I am on vacation and I'm in a place where I know it's bad internet.
See, this is why we
So
did
June 8th. June
June
8th
Why
is
don't we
a
just,
great
hey,
day.
we decided on a day. How about we just leave it there?
It'll be great.
I mean,
But we could try for my vacation spot if like, no one is finished by the 8th.
I'll be finished by the 8th.
Yeah, I'm not too. I mean, it's only 4 hours more audiobook than the last one. Like, it's not that much bigger.
I believe in
I
Becca.
mean, it's not like any of us spend a full month reading the book. We all usually put it off until shortly before the live show.
terrible time,
So
man.
we have a month.
But
If
it's
you put the
like,
live show a different date, we'll procrastinate to a different date. That's
Yeah.
really all that changes.
it's just, I think when you guys said June 8th, I agreed anyway, because it's like, I'm not going to want to read it in July. I don't want to
Yeah.
read it now, so does it really matter?
And we will have to have read another Faithful and the Fallen book by whatever date that live show is going to be too. So
Yeah. That
April,
could be
June.
on like the 29th of June, because I only need a week to read a Faithful and the Fallen book. Like, I know
Yeah.
it's not going to hurt me. Well, it might emotionally, but not like make me not want to do it.
So we've
yes.
established that my life has completely fallen apart. What book are we up to now on the Faithful Along so I can catch up?
Ruin. The live show for Ruin is the 18th.
of this one.
Okay, yeah. So I only have to read 2 books by the 8th. That's easy for those books.
That, yeah,
Okay.
those books are quick, pretty quick.
And
for their
enjoyable,
size anyway.
kind of.
Oh yeah, I love them. I love that series so much.
I mean, I wouldn't exactly say quick, because there's so many POVs. You really need to keep your tongue straight.
I love the juxtaposition of this read along where I'm a hater, and then the other one where Sandra's a hater.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Sandra doesn't like Faithful and the Fallen? If you can keep all the people in Wheel of Time straight, I don't feel how you can have any problem with Faithful and the
And
Fallen.
then I don't know if you've seen those live shows, but she's like, oh, it's so slow and boring and nothing happens. And I'm like,
It's such a fast series.
The person who
I
put
read
us
all
through the
those books.
slog.
I flew through them.
yeah,
No,
the Ruin
And
live
those
show-
are labeled. Each
Yeah.
chapter is labeled by who it is.
Actually,
mean, it's so much
I read half of Ruin, and I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than the first time I read it. I've just got to
Good.
say, it's the best one so far.
I think Aaron
I
said
think it's the best
Ruin
one
was
in the
her
series.
favorite.
Aaron thinks it is.
That's
as
what
well.
Aaron said.
I haven't started yet. I'm actually reading The Devils first, and then
I really want to hear about that one since I did not get a fairy loot offer. I'm sad.
a lot of
I'm
people
still
did.
very
A lot of people
I don't
did.
want to talk about it. I'm so sad.
Sandra
The
keeps
wait
sending me
list
messages today telling me that she hasn't got
system
the invite.
doesn't favor California and not checking your email till you get to work. That's all. Stupid time zones.
Oh my god, the Pope is a woman. Not in real life, because I know that's something that's happening right now. I'm sure it's the first line of the devil. Sorry, poor timing. Right, you and Sandra, you don't live that far away from each other. Iceland and Norway are kind of close, right? You two need to take yourselves somewhere further away from civilization and stay there alone, okay? You can take the Wheel of Time books with you. You can take my copies with you because I don't want them. All right? So you can have a nice time there together with no taste.
Okay.
Yes, Nat. Just binge. You can
Oh,
binge.
you can do it. You can totally do it by the
I
live.
believe in you.
Does anyone in
I
the
saw
chat
how
have anything
quickly.
else specifically that they'd like us to cover on this book? Because I feel like we're losing the plot already.
I feel like
Yeah.
we started not even wanting to talk about this book, and it's been an hour, and we really don't want to talk about it.
Oh, stayed in that was 2 months ago. I don't even know who I was then.
There is a whole live show about Valor, though. That would be really easy to go watch.
That's true.
I think we covered all the important plot lines for the characters.
Oh no, we haven't. We haven't covered the epilogue, where I was so mad that all of that stuff happened in the epilogue because it was actually interesting. The epilogue was the best part of this book.
It was. I loved it so much.
What happened in the epilogue? That I read 3 hours ago.
Oliver, the little boy, opened the envelope from Perrin, where we found out that Matt's been a fucking idiot and should have opened the letter ages ago, because now there's Trollocs marching through a portal in Korean. Is that how you say that place? That they stop, and Perrin's like, if I'm not back in a couple of days, you need to you should know that I'm not coming back, and it's been like weeks.
I think I came in with the last before the month is out. I see the letter now. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Randolph Ford, the Dragon Reborn, sat quietly in his dream.
Then Lanfear's back. That was the very last thing, I think. Lanfear's back.
Oh yeah, she's yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm excited.
And then there was something else, but I can't remember what the other thing was. Somebody got punished for something. One of the Forsaken.
And I'm updating my Wheel of Time Discord name.
But then very annoying that Lanfear's back, because can't anyone remain dead? What was the point in Moraine being gone all this time if Lanfear didn't even die?
Well, Moraine is also back, so she can re-kill her.
This is like the book series equivalent of that meeting could have been an email. This 14-book series could have been a trilogy.
I'm waiting for your new
the wheel and the wheels within the wheels. Everything just keeps coming back around.
I would love to visit an alternate universe where somebody else wrote this story, not Robert Jordan.
Yeah.
Just to see
how. I think the idea of doing a graphic audio, a multicast audio, would be the perfect excuse to amend all these books into smaller things and just cut out a lot of the busyness and make it readable.
What is we love our effing idiot?
Oh, that was because it's Nat and Amberly are the Maxims, and I called him a fucking idiot for not opening the letter from Perrin.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit I don't understand things. Sorry. Yes. Well, that was fun.
Is there anything else put in the chat? Anything else you would like us to cover? Because this live show feels very short for a penultimate book in a 14-book series, but here we are.
Especially a book that so much happened, but honestly, it's gotta be like one of the worst books in the series, by my opinion.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I will not be able to read it in one sitting as my commute book. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Usually I do, okay, I'm doing 3 hours and then I'll finish whatever chapter I'm in. No. Not that done.
I think a lot happened in this book, but I don't really think any of it was exciting, apart from, like, it was all just, like, very minor things. Like, I'm glad that they saved Moraine, like, for the end of the book, but also that should have, since we found out that Matt was going to save her, like, the length of time between him finding that out to, like, actually rescuing her, I feel like was a very long time.
Yes.
But, like, nothing, the majority of the things that happened in this book, I feel like, are not impactful enough for a penultimate book in a series. Like, it was all just, like, I think everything felt overdue. I think that's it. Like, nothing that happened wasn't really anything we expected apart from Tom and Moraine. So, like, it wasn't exciting that it happened, because it's like this should have happened like 4 books ago.
I agree, but I still think it was exciting. How long do you think I can wait before I reread everyone?
Well, next time you do reread, don't talk to me about it. I don't want to know about it.
You can talk to me about it. We'll see.
But then also, like, how long would that take me? But like now it's 2.5 years since I read the first one, so it might be time, you know.
Was it the end of book 4 that she disappeared?
Wasn't it book 5?
I think it's book 5. I'm pretty sure it's book 5.
Yeah.
A long time ago, regardless.
Oh my god, I bet
mean-
Gavin got a more comprehensive view of this series just reading the first and last book than we have reading them all. Because
That'll be an
bet
interesting
last
one to go
book-
back to.
I want to watch that once we finish the series.
Yeah, because I bet the last book, like, it's not actually going to be that much of a stretch from book one because of how slowly everything happened.
There. Well, I hope you all are excited for the last live show on my channel, 8th of June.
I forgot about this.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it too.
Yeah.
And then we all will be here in tears because it's over.
I'm gonna be so
Happy tears. Happy tears.
Happy for some, sad for others.
Yes.
Gavin's gonna get a big boost in views, it seems, when everyone's finished the last book.
Yep.
It's just like, why is everyone watching this now, like 3 years later?
So
Do we
funny.
invite Gavin to the last live show to give his thoughts on the last book?
Oh my god.
How much chaos do you want?
I'm just thinking about Gavin thinking it was a good idea to do a first and last video for this series and realizing that his reaction isn't that shocking because not a lot has changed. Like, no, actually, this makes a lot of sense.
But didn't you do it
Over
with
the-
Throne of Glass? Or was it something else?
He did it for Throne of Glass, and I refused to watch it because it's offensive to my personal beliefs. So
That is actually not a great one to do a first and last for.
no, I've heard from people who have watched it and also himself that he was really confused about who the main character was of the book. And he
Makes
was like,
sense.
"Who is this person?" Yeah.
They don't even have the same name.
No, I need to know who they were. But, yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyway, that wraps up the live show for.
What was that?
It was. Do you know that little case pouch from an old Illumicrate? Not case pouch, wire pouch. Just like bounced its way off my desk.
Oh.
Yeah.
But here we go. Sorry if you wanted like a deep intellectual dive into this book. I don't think we quite managed it, but maybe we'll pull it together for the last one.
Maybe.
I think we covered things.
Yeah, I think the book wasn't great, but we.
I
I
don't
gotta
even know.
make it to an hour.
I actually can't decide if I should give it a 4 or a 5.
Love that for you, Sandra.
Thank you.
I'm glad you had a nice
But-
time.
Bye.
Anyway, we're leaving now. Bye.
Bye.